So make sure that if on Thursday you didn't get a stamp, that the substitute is checking that you got all of it done. And when you get all of it done, stamp, and then make sure that you glue it in your notebook so that I can see. Let me do this, the stamp. So I need to be able to see the stamp in order for you to get your 2 points. Okay, so we're learning a new method, and it's called elimination. Okay, I'm going to do this in blue because we haven't used it. This is a different method. Okay, so if you look here at this other problem, before this was substitution. This was circle, point, substitution. This one was equal values, same, equal, equal. This one's different. This is elimination. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding them. Okay, so let's look here, and I'm going to zoom in. So what you're going to do is you're literally going to add them. And you're going to go 2x plus 5x, 7x. When you go to the next one, 3y minus 3y, boom, gone. That's exactly what eliminate means. It means to be gone, okay? And then equals negative 2 plus 16. Use your calculator. Negative 2 plus 16, boom, 14. And now the y is gone. So all I have is x, divide by 7, x equals 2. I got my x, now I got to find my y. I can either pick this one or this one. I'm going to pick this one. But this one's a little bit more difficult because that means you're going to take the 2 and put it right in there. So now you're going to write 2 times 2 plus 3y equals negative 2. So that's that pink 2. 2 times 2, 4. Do my line. This has to be alone. So remember, the first thing you do is add or subtract. 3y equals. Make sure you're using your calculator. Negative 2 minus 4. Boom, negative 6. Divide by 3, y equals negative 2. I have my x, I have my y. I write my answer. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We're doing the elimination method. So if we're doing the elimination, we add them. And when you look, 2 minus 2, gone. Boom, it is eliminated. There is an imaginary 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. And then now we add this one. Negative 2 plus 10, 8. Cool. The x is eliminated. Now divide by 2. Y equals 4. I have my y. Now I need to get my x. I can either pick this equation or this equation. I'm going to pick the first one again because I feel like it. You can pick the second one. 2x minus 4 equals negative 2. So I took that y and it went right in there. Do my line. This time I'm solving for x. I want x to be alone. So I'm going to add 4, 2x equals, bye-bye. 2, divide by 2, x equals 1. I have my x. I have my y. Now I'll write it as an answer. 1, because x comes first, then y. Okay. All right. So let's look here. In the next problem, blah, 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 blah. No numbers, nothing is important. He caught some bass, great. I'm seeing something here. Each bass weighs 3 pounds. So I see each, which means it's a pattern, again and again and again. I see 3 and I see bass. So that means I know I'm going to be writing 3b. And each trout weighs 1 pound. They caught a total of 30 pounds. So look at the words. 5 points. for each bass. And then it says he lost 1 point for each trout. So he lost 1 point for each trout. And he scored a total of 42 points. This is the system. So now we have to decide what is best to use, substitution, equal values, or elimination. So let's look here at the equal values. When we did equal values, it was y equals. So it was y equals, or x equals, x equals. When I look here, no b equals, no t equals. Equal values is not the best. When I look at the substitution, the substitution has y equals, and then another equation. Let me zoom that in a little bit. So for substitution, it was y equals, and then something else. Y equals, and then something else. But this doesn't have anything b equals or t equals. So substitution is not the best way to go. Elimination. Elimination, I like it because here's what I like about it. The b's are lined up. The t's are lined up. The equal sign is lined up. And the number is lined up. So I'm going to add to eliminate. So I'm going to start here. 3b plus 5b, 8b. 1t minus 1t, eliminate. It's gone. Cool, that's elimination. Equals 30 plus 42, 72. Divide by 8, divide by 8, b equals 9. That means now I know there are 9. What's my b? Bass. I do not write it like a point because it's real life. Now I'm going to take my b and I can plug it into the first one or the second one. I'm going to pick the first one. I like that pattern. So I'm going to go 3 times 9 plus 1t equals 30. 3 times 9. Let's remember, I'm trying to find my t. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1t equals 30 minus 27. 1t equals 3. Divide by 1. T equals 3. But this is real. So 3, find the one that starts with T, trout. Okay? And there, I did it real life. All right, let's flip this paper over. Okay, so it looks like this time it's elimination, but there's a problem because if I solve this one by elimination, let's see if I can get a pencil here that actually works. Sorry. And I add them, there's a problem. There's a problem because 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. And 13 plus 5 is 18. So did anything get eliminated? No. So that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do something else. So in this case, I look, and these two are pretty close. But the problem is, what I noticed on the other page is see how this one's positive, this one's negative. If you look here on this top one, this one was positive, this one was negative. If you look over here, this one was positive and this one was negative. So I need to do the same thing. I need this to be positive, but I need this to be negative. But you can't just write negative. So what you're going to do is when you have same, multiply everything by -1. So it's going to be a rainbow. So I'm going to take this first equation and then I'm going to rewrite it. Sorry about that. Let me make that a little bit bigger. So I'm taking this and I'm writing it exactly the same. But then this one, I multiply. -2 times 2, -2x. -1 times 3, -3y. -1 times 5, -5. Now I can add to eliminate. Gone. Because one is positive and one is negative. Now 7 plus -3, 4y. 13 plus -5, 8. And now this problem is like before. So the idea is that when you have elimination, one needs to be positive and one needs to be negative. So like positive 3x, negative 3x. Negative 4x, positive 4x. One's positive, one's negative. That can be gone. that can be gone. But if I had 7x and 7x, no, no, no. So I'd have to multiply one of them by -1. Then, when I did that, negative 7x, 7x, gone. One's positive, one's negative. Okay, back to this. Divide by 4, y equals 2. This isn't real. Since it isn't real, a point will be great. So I have my y, now I need to get my x. So I'm going to take my y, plug it in. 2x plus 7 times 2 equals 13. So I took this, 2x plus 7, but then I took my y and I plugged it in, equals 13. So there's my 13, or my 2 right there. Draw my line. This time I want x to be by itself. So 2x plus 14 equals 13, minus 14, minus 14. 2x equals -1. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So, get my calculator, turn it on. I'm going to go -1 divided by 2, second PRB, -1/2. So x equals -1/2. Make that bigger. So I got my x, I rewrite it here, and that's my final answer. Okay? So now let's look. Let's decide if there's one positive and one negative. If I add that, no, let me make it bigger. But if I add this, perfect. I can do elimination. Boom. Okay. Then I'll just do it. So -1y equals -4. Divide by -1. Y equals 4. I got my y. Take my y. Plug it in. I'll plug it into the second one just to be interesting. So then I'm going to go -3 times 4 plus x equals -9. -12 plus x equals -9. Add 12. X equals 3. So now I got my x and my y. This is not real. A point works. This isn't real. A point works. But this is real. So we need to write words because it's a word problem. Let's look at this one. Uh-oh. When I look at this next one, this one's an uh-oh, because look, here, see how it's like y, x equals number. This has xy, so I can't set it up. So let's look here. 2x minus 4y, I'll rewrite that, equals 14. And I look at this one, the problem is, like, if I look at the sides, these two are backwards. So if I went -x plus 4y equals -3, now x, y, number. Now I'll look to see. If I go this, doesn't go elimination. But if I do this, yes, elimination. Bye-bye. 2x minus 1x is x equals, and 14 minus 3 is 11. I got my x. Now I need to get my y. I'll plug it in. Let's plug it into the second one again. No reason, but why not? 4y minus 11 equals -3. Add 11. 4y equals 8. Divide by 4. Y equals 2. And I'm good to go. Let's look at the next one. If I add this, If I add this, So since nothing will go away, I'm going to multiply the first guy by -1. And when I do that, multiply, write it underneath. Multiply, write it underneath. Multiply, write it underneath. Now I can add these two. Bye-bye, and we're eliminated. 2x minus 3x is -1x. 2 plus -1 is 1. Divide by -1. X equals -1. I have my x. Now I need to plug it in and get my y. I'll pick the first one this time. We'll go back to the original. And I'm going to go 3 times -1 plus 4y equals 1. Multiply, multiply. Remember, I'm trying to get that by itself.